I haven't figured out how to embed the music onto the software that we record on from my new computer because I'm still in the setup process.
Well, yeah, we need to figure that out because it's not the same energy when we don't hear the turn up music. Once you hear
I
that,
just played it.
once we hear that, the blood gets to boiling and you start getting a little hype. You know what I mean?
I just played it. It's just a little ghetto version.
It's not as good. It's not as authentic.
Anyways, we are back.
Another week in quarantine.
Another week in 2020.
Yeah.
Before, I kept holding out hope for the rest of the year, but ever since they put that travel ban, did you see that for Massachusetts?
Yeah, my mom's trying to come up here, and then
So was Terrence's mom.
like I was talking to her, and she was about to book her flight, and then that little travel thing came right out, but she booked it anyway because we're gangsters on this side.
It's honor system, like at least that's what they said on the press conference. That
And
they're not
I think she has to get tested before
shugam.
she comes. Yeah, and she already got tested like maybe a couple of weeks ago, so she's just going to get tested again. She was thinking about driving up, but I was like, you don't need to drive from Atlanta to Boston.
Yeah, that's way too far.
I mean, she would do it happily, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah, so Terrence's family is supposed to come up too. I mean, we're just trying to figure out the plan now.
So what does it actually say? I just saw that it was like a $500 fine.
Yeah, you have to when you're coming in from any of the non-approved states, which is basically like everybody except for New England, New York, and Hawaii, then you have to fill out this form. And I looked at the form online, and it's like you have to fill it out saying you agree to, and yet there's like 4 boxes you can check, and one is like quarantining for 14 days, getting a test that you pay for yourself within 72 hours of arriving, and like quarantining until you get your results, or showing proof of a negative test result from like 72 hours from before you arrived or something. Or there was like one other one too, but it's not like the airports and the hotels are like making everybody turn these forms in. It really is like honor system. But like if you do get caught, that it's a $500 fine every day that you're in Massachusetts without quarantining or a test. Like, how do they know? Like they said they're not pulling cars over, but Terrence's family was supposed to drive from Virginia because it's not that far. But I'm like, if they're gonna pull anybody over, it's obviously gonna be black people with that out of state
with Virginia plates. So also it depends on like I guess where the individuals are going. So if let's say if they're going to a hotel and the hotel knows that they're coming from out of state and they see them leaving, they probably could call authorities. That's what happened in Hawaii. I read the story. There was a guy, I guess he had a trip to Hawaii for like maybe 2 weeks. So he goes there. They tell him that he has a quarantine. He ends up leaving the hotel or the resort. They call the police. They come, they arrest him, they fine him, and then they send him back to, I think he was from Maine.
Yeah.
They send him back to Maine. That's what
you're risking is like some Karen suspecting that you're not from here and ratting you out, which could happen.
Well, the Karens are the ones that's not wearing a mask and not social distancing, so I doubt that they're the ones who would actually care. Don't be a Karen.
No, but yeah, just so when that came out that he said is effective August 1st, I'm like, damn, we're really not doing anything for the rest of the year and possibly 2021.
I think there's only 5 weeks left in the summer. Like, if you look at it, this summer was trash. And if you look back at it, like when this whole thing started, everybody was like, oh, we're only going to be in quarantine for a month, maybe. We'll be done by Memorial Day weekend.
Yo, I was just laughing I literally, right before we got on this, was laughing to Terrence because I was like, just thinking about because I was looking on Instagram and one of my friends had like a bachelorette this weekend, but it was like a low key bachelorette, like they weren't out. And I said to Terrence, I was like, remember when we canceled the bachelorette? Like, I was furious.
Yeah, I remember that. That was April?
Yeah. And now it's just hysterical because we had to cancel the whole wedding.
Like, if you look back at it, you thought that was like
I
a
thought
dire
that
situation.
was
You had to cancel your
I thought that
bachelorette.
was the lowest
But
point of
this whole thing,
being in quarantine.
and then you had to cancel the whole wedding. Had to go to West Virginia on top of the mountainside, get married.
Like,
Like,
it's just funny when you look back
that
on
wasn't
it.
even
It's like,
that wasn't even touching.
we hadn't even scratched the surface. Just shit is just hilarious.
It's crazy
So
times we're in.
yeah, I mean,
I feel like we're gonna look back at 2020 as a whole and just be like, wow. Like, I think 2021 we just need a break.
I'm nervous about 2021. I'm not sure this is going to be over by then.
I don't think
Not
so
the
either.
way it's
To tell you the
going.
truth. I mean, you watch all the movies and it just gets worse. Like, this thing just mutates and it gets to something that just kills half the population, like Thanos.
Have you seen, like, okay, now on my Instagram, you know how you get ads just based on like whatever's happening around you, if your phone hears you talking, whatever?
Bro, I got a story for you on that.
I don't know if my phone like hears me talking about, because I don't even talk about Corona like that, like unless really like we're recording and we're like catching up, and it's showing me advertisements for like survival preparedness kits. Do you see those?
I do not see those. I don't know what you're Googling.
I'm like, why is this popping up on my Instagram? It's like preparedness kits for like you put in your zip code or whatever, and then they tell you like what natural disasters like in the area you live in that could like possibly be like an emergent situation, and then they send you like a backpack of like all the stuff that you might need if that were to happen. I was just wondering if anybody else has seen these advertisements.
Nah, you must be Googling or
I'm
searching the
not.
webs, and you don't even know it. You might just be doing it. You don't even know it.
I'm not. I don't
Like
know
looking
why
up
I'm getting
survival
that.
skills, trying to find the secret bunkers that we're all going to try to find once everything hits the fan.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not talking about this in depth because we already talked about it, but
I mean, I feel like you just have to start like in today's time, you just have to start every conversation with, "Oh, Corona this, COVID that." Like,
no, but I mean, like, you made me remind me about I don't know why when you said bunker, I thought about Kim and Kanye because I'm pretty sure they like live in a bunker in Colorado.
actually, that's a
And
good segue
that
right there.
popped off literally right after I said on this podcast that Get Out is literally like the Kardashians. And then you texted me the tweet, and he was saying the same thing. But everybody on Twitter was like getting all, panties in a bunch because people were making jokes about it, which is like
That's a place for Twitter. Twitter is a place of jokes.
I understand, yeah, but like Twitter is, I just feel like a lot of people take Twitter too seriously. But obviously, Kanye West's mental health is a very serious issue, and
Is it a mental health thing, or is he just doing this because he's dropping an album? Like, he always does this when he has something to promote.
I know. That's what everybody on the radio is saying too. But like, that doesn't necessarily negate the fact that he does have like bipolar disorder.
Oh yeah.
So like, there's no way to know. Like, if we know he's diagnosed with that, there's no way to know if his episodes are a result of that. I don't know. I guess the stuff he was saying about Kim, like, I thought that was probably the indicator that he was having like a moment.
Why? Because you've been trying to divorce her for months and it just hasn't worked out, or
Well, no, him just even saying that, like tweeting about that. I don't know.
well, yeah, him putting his business out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see where he called Kris Jenner Kris Jung-un?
I was like, this man has really lost it.
But actually, it wasn't even that. It was like his whole little rally thing when he just started crying on the stage. And I don't think he was really crying. He could have just been fake crying.
I didn't even watch that whole thing. I saw the one clip about Harriet Tubman, and I was like, there's no way I can watch this and not.
Yeah, so for the people who don't know, he held a presidential rally because he thinks he's running for president. And during this, he said that Harriet Tubman did not free the slaves. She just relocated them to work for other white people. And then he goes on to say that his dad wanted to abort him and that him and Kim almost aborted their firstborn, and then he started breaking down crying, and that's when everybody thought that there was something wrong with him.
He said all that?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't watch it.
He was like, he started talking about Planned Parenthood, and then he was like, my dad wanted to abort me, but thankfully for my mom, that didn't happen. And he was like we almost aborted my first daughter, and then he just started crying, and that's when everybody was like, okay, there's something like going on with him. And then I guess 2 days later, he just hops on Twitter and goes on this huge rant about how Chris and Kim tried to get him to see some doctor. They're trying to get him committed to a hospital, and that Chris just has Kim and the family doing Playboy shoots, and he would never do that, and he wants a divorce, and it was just a hot mess.
No, then there was one that was like, Chris and Kim put out a statement without consulting me. White supremacy. No, that's not how marriage works. White supremacy.
Yo, I think I was dying laughing because every time he said something like that they did wrong, he would just say white supremacy, and I'm like, yo, that is absolutely hysterical.
I just don't trust him though. Like even when he was tweeting about being president and stuff, and he was saying like I could beat Biden off of write-ins or whatever.
Like, why is that your goal?
Yeah, like he's not the president. Biden isn't the president. Who you're trying to beat is Trump. And by saying that you'll beat Biden off write-ins, you're just trying to split the vote so that Trump wins again.
Yeah, obviously what he's trying to do, and Trump is definitely probably supporting this because he already knows that it's just going to split the black vote.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I mean, Kanye, the Kardashians, all of it's ridiculous to me, but hey, who am I?
The other thing I was going to say is, did you see you must have seen it, but the speech that AOC made?
Yes, the whole 9-minute speech.
It did not feel like 9 minutes. It was so good. How would you like?
No, it was good. Everything that she said was valid and true, but you should give some insight for the people who might not know.
What was that guy's name? Yoho?
Yoho.
This representative, Yoho, from like, what was he, from Florida or some shit?
Somewhere down south, obviously.
He, on like in the public in front of the media to her face, called her fucking bitch, which is just like wild to me because like,
like you hold these people to a higher standard than regular
that's like
citizens.
That's like you going into work and openly in front of the whole office calling somebody a fucking bitch.
You'll be fired.
On 1,000 because you represent like the people of the United States. So and then he made some sorry apology. It wasn't even an apology. He just mostly said like, I have daughters and a wife, and I understand that my words, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, but I'm not going to apologize for being passionate and helping the people. I'm like, okay. So then
who did he help by calling her that?
I don't know. His whole apology was a joke.
Trash.
Yeah. And then she did a response to his apology, which was lit, which is basically like, I'm not going to stay up at night waiting for you to apologize to me because you are nobody. And this is how I interpreted it. Because you're nobody. But you're not going to just like use the fact that you have wife and daughters as like an excuse for your behavior, as like a shield or like part of your apology. And she was like, I'm someone's daughter. It was very, very moving. It made a lot of people feel very proud to have her like as a representative, even if she's a representative for New York. So,
I think that she stated that she wasn't going to say anything at first, but then she thought about the people who actually look up to her, the people that she's actually around, and how they would view her if she didn't respond.
Yeah, it was great. I thought she did a good job.
And she was 1,000% right. Like, just because you have a wife, just because you have a daughter, just because you have a sister, doesn't mean that you're not trash.
Exactly.
And that you can't, like, doesn't mean you all of a sudden respect women.
Exactly.
Because of that. And actually, I 1,000% believe that there are people out there who think they can't be sexist or they can't be looked at as disrespectful to women just because they have a wife or a
Right.
daughter. Like just
Right.
because you have bring a daughter in the world doesn't all of a sudden make you a good person.
Right.
There's plenty of trash people out there with daughters. Plenty of trash people out there with wives.
100%. It's funny. Yes. I was going to say something else.
That's what the title of this episode should just be. Men are trash.
You're going to say no, but did you watch the WNBA season opener?
No, I didn't even watch the NBA stuff either.
I
I
didn't
haven't
watch
watched
it.
any sports.
The NBA stuff was like scrimmages.
Yeah.
First of
Oh,
all,
so this is actual like there's like an
yeah,
actual game.
Yeah, it was the Liberty versus the Storm, I think.
How do we feel about sports being back with no fans?
Okay, this is
in the
we need to
arena?
start here. I wholeheartedly disagree with sports coming back. I think it's stupid. I think there's no point. I think there is no reason to bring sports back other than for the people playing and running the teams to make money. And I just don't get the point. Like, everyone's been fine and it's now summer. Like, we don't care. And now all the sports are all back at the same time. It's like 75,000 sports all in the same damn season.
Yeah, you gotta think about it.
Baseball,
Yeah.
WNBA, like, it's
So
stupid.
I understand the baseball coming back because baseball kept the same timeline as it normally does. I don't understand the NBA coming back because and doing this whole bubble thing because the season would have been over by now. They would have had a champion in June. They canceled the season midway through, back when COVID first started. And the next season, the 2021 season, would have started in October?
Right.
So
They should
now,
have just started 2021.
yeah, so now you're just going to push everything back and it's going to be delayed. And then they're going to crown a champion over this short span of time. To me, it just doesn't make sense. I feel like they're just trying way too hard to, like you said, make that money. But
It doesn't make sense for any sports to be happening. Like, it is still coronavirus. There is absolutely no good, valid reason besides entertainment and money making that we should be removing these players from their families, putting them in bubbles just for our own entertainment. Like,
like they're animals.
they're just trying to make money. So I don't get it. And like, did you read?
It's the country we live in.
I tweeted this article from Elena Del Don about the WNBA. I don't know if you read it, but she did, like, you know that
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Players Tribune article.
Yep.
So basically, like, the WNBA, for their season to start, they all had to, like, go through all these precautions and measures to, like, go to their bubble or whatever. And if you had, like, a serious medical condition or something that makes you exempt or just like high risk to coronavirus, you could submit like a medical waiver, which says like your doctor doesn't believe it's safe for you to go back to work and to play even in the bubble, but you still get paid. And so to do that, you have to like, get your doctor, all your doctors to write notes, da da da. And so I guess Elena Del Don tried to do that because she has Lyme disease, which like has affected her over like the last 10 years. She takes like 60 pills a day to like regulate it. And she was like, the worst thing about Lyme disease is that it's unpredictable. So like there are really days where like, or times where my like little things, like I catch a cold and it like turns into something way more serious. And she submitted all the paperwork to get the waiver to not go because she's like really scared of coronavirus, and the WNBA denied her request. So
she was trying not to play at all?
Yes, because she was trying not to. Yeah, she feels like she still needs to be in quarantine. She has Lyme disease, does affect your like immune system. So she was basically saying, like, it's my doctor told me it's not safe for me to be, even if it's in a bubble, like the way you're trying to do it. So, but they denied her. So she either has to go and play and literally risk her life, which her whole point was like, I played a championship and won with a broken back. So, like, obviously, if I could play, like, I would.
But they're not going to pay her. They're not going to pay her.
Or not get paid. Yeah. That's effed up. For what, though? For
they
what?
already don't make that much money, so it's not like she just.
Tell me what the point of that is.
I don't know. I don't get it. It's kind of backwards. 'Cause I'm pretty sure the NBA is allowing players who don't want to play not to play.
Exactly.
And the WNBA is owned by the.
But are they not getting paid if they opt out?
No, I think they're still able to get their at least some of their contracts still.
So, anyways, that kind of pissed me off about the WNBA. And then I'm just thinking to myself, like, why? Like, I still don't understand why we feel the need that all these sports have to come back. For what? For our entertainment, for these people to make money. It has nothing to do, like, to me, it's like, it's coronavirus. Like, right now, the biggest issues that I see in front of us are like like not sending kids back to school and the stupid ass states who are doing that. And like we're debating kids going to school to get education, and y'all are talking about bringing sports back. Like to me, that seems like
there's larger issues.
yeah. To me, professional sports is like should be the last bottom of the list of things to come back.
Like nightclubs and bars.
Exactly, but they're open too.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I said, I especially don't get the NBA because they're just gonna mess up their next season. It's a shortened season. I feel like whoever wins this championship is going to be an asterisk next to it. So like, what's the point?
So
what's the point?
Even want it.
Yeah, for baseball, like I understand. I mean, and even with baseball, you can still like you're outside. It's a safer environment than basketball, where you're inside and you're close, and you're pretty much social distance besides when you're the catcher and the batter, and then if you're on a base. So
yeah. It's definitely a spread out sport, so that's fine. What I wanted to talk about baseball though was of course the Red Sox in Boston, racist. They put the Black Lives Matter, like they took down that banner on the Pike and put up Black Lives Matter in all the tweets about
people were livid.
But there were a lot of bots. Like, did you see all those tweets about like from the bots?
Oh,
like they were all copying and pasting, but there were actual, for sure, Red Sox fans, Bostonians, New England fans that were pissed that the Red Sox did that. And then when baseball started, it was like the Yankees versus the
Nationals,
and every single player and coach in the building took a knee. Then it's the Orioles versus the Red Sox. And every single Oriole player and coach took a knee, and Red Sox is like mostly everyone standing except for like 4 people at the end. I'm just like, baseball is, baseball was one of the last sports in history to integrate.
I think the Red Sox were one of the last teams to integrate as well.
Yeah. So, I expected nothing less, but it was just, I did laugh out loud when I saw the picture or the video on Twitter. And I worked with the Orioles, like at my last job. I worked like very closely with the organization, and I love the Orioles. Like if I had to pick a baseball team, I don't even watch baseball like that. I just cheer for the Red Sox because they're Boston.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, like I'd be down with the Orioles. Like I really do like them. And so when
Camden Yards, that whole little area out there
is lit. And so when I saw them taking a knee and the Red Sox not, I was like, man, I'm about to just permanently be an Orioles fan.
Hey, why not? We didn't even watch baseball, so. But I mean that whole sign that they put up, I think that was pretty dope. Like you said, there were a lot of people that were mad and livid.
Right.
I just hate how this whole thing is like so political now, and it just got politicized. Like first the kneeling got politicized, and then now the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, now it's just a huge it's just a whole political thing now.
That's what they want it to be, so they can slow it down.
It's ridiculous.
The WNBA, the kickoff, the Storm against the Liberty, they walked off the court.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people were saying they walked off the court during the national anthem, but they actually walked off the court before the national anthem. And I think that's
they
important.
Just went to the locker room.
I think that's important. That's important to differentiate, because you would give ammunition to the people who just want to complain and bicker about, again, making this whole thing political. So,
besides that, it shows like the WNBA as a whole, as an organization, all the teams and players are on the same page. Like they have clearly taken a stance.
And every single movement,
they were going to do that.
Every single movement that we've had in the past 5 years, the WNBA, they have been like one of the first, as a whole, one of the first groups to,
and they get no love.
The protest all together. But it's like when one person makes a decision, it's like the whole organization does that.
Yeah,
The whole WNBA. It's not just like one player or some teams. It's like everybody.
Everybody.
I think that's dope.
Super dope. And they still get no love.
Well, I mean, you could basically look at them as like a marginalized group because everybody just talks about, oh, women basketball players, like nobody wants to watch that. They're not really athletes, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, they have their own movement that they need to fight too, and people need to support it as well.
For sure.
But they don't get the support that they should.
Exactly. And I still don't understand why they have to go back to work. But you know what? I don't understand a lot of things that go on these days, tell you that.
Yeah, 2020 is just, I'm over it.
And now I'm just like, what? Like now all the sports are on at once, right? Baseball, WNBA, NBA, football's about to come back.
Football's about to come back. This is going to be a cluster.
It's too much.
It's way too much.
Honestly, it's honestly just, and I don't know. I just feel like if there was ever a time where adulting was like peak at its peak, like I feel like now more than ever we've had to like in the areas of adulting that are like political and stuff like that this past year, it's on 1,000. Like I'm just tired.
It's only going to rev up too because the election's coming up in November, and it's just going to be in your face even more.
I know.
These next few months are probably going to be super, super duper trash, honestly.
Thank you for that those words of encouragement.
I'm just keeping like telling you the truth. I mean, sorry if I sound like the Debbie Downer, but I just feel like these next few months are going to be super trash. Like something else big is going to happen before the election because I feel like
for sure
something always happens like that. Something massive happens before an election, and obviously Corona's been just savaging the country for 4 or 5 months now already. So there's going to be another big boom right beforehand. Plus, you have all the protesting still happening. And do you actually know what's happening in Washington?
Washington, D.C.?
No, in Seattle with the protests and everything, and like them sending in federal agents and things like that. You have no idea?
I don't remember Seattle, but go ahead, tell us.
I don't know. That's the thing. Oh. It's like something like serious has happened out there, and I just don't know. Like I just know that there are a bunch of federal agents that keep getting sent there, and they're arresting people, but they're not identifying themselves as police officers. So people think that protesters are basically being kidnapped. And
what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, here's an article. I just Googled it from the Seattle Times. We're gonna unpack this right here, right now.
But it's like more than what people are actually saying. Like people are saying, "Oh, there's protests and things like that," but there's actually like more happening. And I don't see any news on it, so I just don't know. And I don't think we have any listeners out in Washington. But if we do, please let us know if you know what's going on.
Okay, it basically says that in response to nightly protests in Portland, Trump sent a team of officers from various federal agencies who have clashed with protesters, made arrests, and pulled demonstrators in for questioning in unmarked cars. What the fuck? Okay, then it says the president, who has also sent tactical border officers to stand by for duty in Seattle, has defended the action, calling the protests in Portland worse than Afghanistan. Are you kidding me?
Yo, words matter, yo. Words matter.
On Friday, a federal judge issued a temporary restraining order blocking Seattle's new law prohibiting police force from using tear gas, blast balls, and similar weapons. What the fuck are blast balls?
Sounds like something that inflicts pain. I wouldn't want to be hit. So
Seattle tried to pass a law to prohibit it, and then a federal judge blocked it. Wild.
This country is just...
Yeah, something else is going to happen. Something else is going to happen. Did you see that we were second to last? We were like the second worst developed country in the world to raise a family.
Yeah.
34 out of 35. I was like, this is what I've been saying. I'm like, I need to... if all my friends and family would just pick up and move to another country with me, I would do it.
Where would you go? Canada?
Somewhere, I don't know. The top 3 on that list were like...
It was like Finland.
Norway, Finland, yeah.
I'm not going to Norway or Finland. They're like translucent out there. They're whiter than white, aren't they? You'll be sticking out like a sore thumb.
I guess Canada would be our best bet, but Canada is like, I mean, in The Handmaid's Tale, the show, Canada takes in all the refugees and like helps the American people, but
This is real life.
that's just a TV show. I don't know if that would really
Real life.
happen. Oh gosh, lol. So, anyways, sports are back. I'm totally against it, so I feel like I don't even want to support it. I don't even think I'm going to watch. I've gotten used to not having sports. It's
You're
fine.
definitely gonna watch basketball once it starts picking up and it gets into like the championship rounds.
I don't want to support this bad decision.
I just think like I said, they're gonna have a champion and everybody's gonna be like, if your team doesn't win, everybody's gonna be like, oh, there's an asterisk by that, so that championship really doesn't count. This is just gonna be a bunch of hypocritical back and forth. Nobody cares about baseball, so I don't even care. 2020 is wild. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I saw your tweet that we retweeted of the person that was like, when did you know 2020 was going to be trash? And you were like, when Kobe died. But like on a real note, like when Kobe did die and we talked about it on the podcast, you were like, am not sure about this year after this. Like that's what you said. I remember you saying
And then it just went downhill from there.
And then it really did go downhill from there, which is like crazy.
And it feels like, that feels like such a long time ago.
I know that does feel like a long time ago. But I mean, like on a personal level, like I'm really trying to, like, I don't know if this is going to help anyone else, but I'm really trying to just like control what I can control and like make moves for myself that are going to put me in a better position in 2021 when we get to a new normal, if we survive. And it just takes my mind off everything crumbling around us. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm doing like just like a lot more personal growth stuff, especially now that we're kind of pretty much sedentary from the injury. So yeah, I mean, that's what I would say.
Yeah, we all going to need a huge mental break after this is over with. But hey, that's the thing about adulting. You just got to get hit and keep going, right?
I know, I'm kind of jealous of like, I mean, the kids are definitely being affected. Like I have nephews and nieces who are like really, really sad about school and they like really want to go back and they don't understand why they can't go back. But for the most part, they're pretty much just blissfully enjoying their summers. And sometimes I'm kind of like, wow, like I wish I didn't had no idea what was going on around me.
Yeah, no responsibilities, no worries.
Yeah.
No worries. And that's why I just want to like get away. I just want to be on a beach somewhere, just away from people, not having no work, nobody bothering me, just relaxing. But you can't even really do that.
Can't even really do it.
But hey, we'll find a way.
All right. Well, we forgot to do the closing last time. I didn't realize, so I listened to the episode back. So please take us out, Jared.
You already know what we're about to say. Actually, no.
Wait, I usually start that.
Exactly. That's what I was like.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'll say it. If you like this episode and this podcast, subscribe, rate, and review, and tell a friend.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram, Done with Adulting Pod. Like, share, hit us in the comments. Also on Twitter, Done, WTH Adulting. Interact with us, share us. We appreciate it all.
I'm starving.
Yeah, got to get something to eat. Deuces.